Hey everyone, Ryan from Ebike Escape.
And JT from Ebike Escape.
And man, we've been getting a lot of questions
Just a few
about the Lectric XPremium. So that's what we're gonna cover in this video. Before we get to it, if you are looking to purchase any of the models offered by Lectric, please consider using the link in the description before you make your purchase. It's a free and easy way to help support the channel. It makes videos like this one possible. Obviously, we've been focusing on the electric bikes quite a bit. There will also be some other resources down in the description as well. Our electric bike accessories list, top e-bike brands page, and finally our electric bike discounts code page. So we've been compiling questions over the last few weeks, and we're just gonna jump right into it and start answering questions about this brand new Lectric XPremium. They're mid-drive. If you haven't checked out our full review, there'll be a link in the top right-hand corner of your screen. It's their most expensive bike, given the fact it has a mid-drive, dual batteries. Way more information on our full review. And stay tuned until the end of the video where JT and I will take the Lectric XP 2.0 and the Lectric XPremium up this hill back here and compare both of the bikes. I know that's a question a lot of people have.
We're gonna make sure to give Ryan the heavier of the two bikes so I get all the advantages I can muster.
First question, this is a dual battery electric bike. Can you use one battery? The answer is yes. However, you need to use the front battery. You cannot take this battery out and just use the rear battery. Again, these are both 10.4 amp hour batteries, both the same capacity. One thing that a commenter brought up was the slime that's going to be included on the Lectric XPremium. And he shared with us that he has to replace slime, which is tire sealant, every 2 to 4 months. While it's nice that Lectric has gone ahead and pre-installed that with these models, it's important to note that there is some maintenance involved if you want to keep your slime functional and help prevent flats.
Yeah, that's really gonna depend upon climate as well, because the hotter the climate, the hotter the tires are gonna get, and the more that sealant is gonna bake inside the tires. Yeah, anytime you buy bike sealant, it comes with a tube that helps you fit it right into the valve stem. So you take the core out, squirt a little bit extra sealant in there, and that should help.
Another product you can use is Tannis tire liners. We'll put a link in the description to those in case you want to put liners in your electric bike. That also helps prevent flats.
Yeah, so looking through some of the other questions that were asked, we know range was a big one. Ryan and I are just looking to set time aside to get out and do a range test, because with the dual batteries, it's going to make it, hopefully it's going to end up being a fairly large number, but getting those miles in is not going to be easy or not time consuming, but we're definitely going to get that time set aside to get that out.
Lectric notes a range of 100 miles on this bike.
Helmet safety was asked in the comments a couple times. So we've done a couple articles about that on our website, ebikeescape.com, but we'll also put a link to that article in the description. In that article, we talk about helmet safety. So if you have any more questions about that, be sure to reference that article. There's a lot of good information in that.
In short, you'll want to be looking for a MIPS helmet, and the other certification that you want to be looking at is NTA 8776. Again, we talk a little bit more about that in some of our in-depth articles. There is one helmet that I personally have that's our safest helmet that is both MIPS and NTA 8776 rated. Again, that's on our best e-bike helmets blog post.
One of the other questions that we saw asked is, will this bike work for older riders? With the bike being a step-through model, that definitely makes it more accessible. One thing we do note is that the reach on the bikes from seat to handlebars does feel a bit longer. When it gets into more specific fitment questions though, we recommend just referencing Lectric's website, because they're gonna have all of the information there listed out for you.
Now, I did print off the manual for the Lectric XPremium because there's a few things I wanted to cover. The first thing I'll just point out, serial number located right at the top of the top tube. Highly recommend you register your bike with Bike Index in case it is ever stolen. All right, next let's talk about the mid-drive motor. Again, if you're unfamiliar, this means that the motor is located right down by the cranks compared to the Lectric XP Lite and the 2.0 with a rear hub motor. Now I'm just gonna read from their manual because I think it is very important, but just generally with mid-drive electric bikes, you want to ride them how you would ride a regular non-electric bike. That means when you're coming to stops, you shift down, and when you're riding at faster speeds, you're gonna shift up. Of course, the mid-drive drives the chain so you can take advantage of all of the gears, which is different than a rear hub motor.
And then to note too, that is the benefit of a mid-drive motor over a hub motor is that a mid-drive motor can utilize the gear ratios, whereas the hub motor is stuck at a set gear and not able to utilize those gears at all.
And with that said, with the mid-drive, there are things you need to be aware of. Of course, when you're shifting, I'm just going to read this here. Mid-drive motors utilize the bicycle drivetrain in order to deliver power to the road. It is very important to the longevity, efficiency, and performance of the motor that you shift gears according to the situation. When starting from a stop or traveling at lower speeds, use the lower gears. When traveling at higher speeds, use the higher gears. It will not be possible to reach high speeds without the appropriate gears being utilized. This is similar to the operation of a manual transmission vehicle. Another thing with the mid-drive motor is you only want to shift one gear at a time. That's again something that's in the manual. Only move the shifter one click to allow the chain to move from one gear to the next before shifting again. Your bike is equipped with a shift sensor. Again, I covered that in the full review, and so it temporarily cuts off the motor. That ensures that the motor does not operate or accelerate the chain in the middle of a shift, potentially causing undue stress or damage to the chain or gears. Again, that's something that mid-drive motors are more prone to, is wearing out drivetrains. So it's something that you want to be aware of.
Yeah, it's because all of the torque is going straight through the chain and the drivetrain. So if you're trying to pedal and you shift, when you shift, there's naturally a little bit of a shock to the chain and the drivetrain system because the chain's jumping around. With the additional torque that this motor is putting out, it could very easily snap the chain, and as well as it'll wear the chains out a lot quicker doing that. So for longevity of drivetrain and chains, is definitely worth following what the manual recommends. Unfortunately, that is one of the downfalls of a mid-drive versus a hub motor, is a little bit more maintenance and things that can wear out, but the pedaling experience is so much better, and being able to utilize those gears is really nice.
So it all is going to come down to what type of rider are you. I think for most beginners just starting on electric bikes, hub drive motors are definitely less maintenance and less things to worry about. And in their manual, they note that you should check the chain for wear after 200 miles. So just some more maintenance things involved. It doesn't mean that this is a bad bike. It just means you need to be aware of the differences between a mid-drive and a hub drive electric bike. And with that, this Lectric XPremium does have a throttle. Now, Lectric does not recommend that you use the throttle in gears 5, 6, or 7. So you only should be using the throttle in 1st through 4th gear unless you want to cause undue stress perhaps on the drivetrain. Now the mid-drive does have a temperature sensor, and they do note that using the bike outside of this gear range will heat the motor up faster, causing premature drop in performance. One thing I was curious about was the energy bar on the LCD screen. Because you have 2 batteries, how does that work? If I look in the manual here, if you're using the bike with 2 batteries, the battery capacity of the battery with the higher remaining level of charge will be shown on the battery level indicator bar. Now, if you really want to know how these batteries work, this bike is equipped with a battery isolator that will automatically switch between 2 batteries when they're attached. The switching device will switch to whichever battery has the higher voltage within a certain tolerance, 1 to 2%. For example, if you have the primary bike on the battery at 75% charge and you load the auxiliary battery at 100% charge, the bike will use 25% charge from the auxiliary battery until both batteries are at around 75% charge. Again, both of the batteries deplete at the same time, if you will. And then as you ride, it'll keep switching from each battery depending on the voltage. I did ask Lectric about the accessories. You can see we have this Lectric XP 2.0 fully accessorized. These are the same ones that will fit on the Lectric XPremium. We'll be doing a full electric bike accessories list on the Lectric XPremium, so be sure to subscribe so you know when that video is launched.
One of the comments that we've seen very frequently, and we're starting to see a lot more on folding electric bikes, is these stand heights here. So on the XPremium, the stand height is roughly 6 inches from the ground, and the stand height on the XP 2.0 is about 6.5 inches.
And one of the reasons people brought that up is because this stand looks like it hangs pretty low. And of course, if you're going off-road, that's something that you need to be aware of. But I'm actually a little bit surprised. I thought that this one hung much lower than this one, but it's only about a half inch difference.
We definitely agree with most of the commenters that it looks like this stand is really out in front and it's going to get caught on everything. And what we're seeing when we compare it to the XP 2.0 is that the stand is actually underneath the actual pedals. So it's not out front of all of the motor and everything like that, like it is on the XPremium. It's definitely something to be aware of if you're off-roading or anything like that, although we haven't had any problems while riding the bike around yet.
Someone asked, what about shipping damage? Now, I personally have received dozens of electric bikes, and shipping damage, in my experience, can happen with any electric bike. It's something that is just a reality of a direct-to-consumer electric bike, but hopefully you buy from a reputable company such as Lectric, and if there is anything wrong, they will take care of you. One thing that is cool about these electric bikes is that they come fully assembled or nearly fully assembled, folded in a box as opposed to a big long box. You kind of get more of a square box. So assembly wise, you might not necessarily have to take it to a bike shop. Someone else asked, can I use the Lectric XPremium for deliveries? And I would say yes, especially with the accessory package, the dual batteries, the more efficiency with the mid-drive motor, perhaps getting up to that 100-mile range. I think this would make for a great delivery bike. Someone else asked, can the Lectric XPremium replace a full-size fat tire electric bike? And that's going to depend on what kind of trails you're taking out this bike on, because it does have smaller wheels and they are capable off-road, certainly with their 20-inch wheels, but it's just a different pedaling experience. You got this longer stem here, so it just feels a little bit different. It lends itself more to a upright riding position as opposed to perhaps a more aggressive riding position found on many of the full-size fat tire electric bikes, but plenty of RVers take these bikes wherever they go and use them on adventures. We also got asked, what does this bike weigh with and without the batteries? Lectric notes that this bike weighs 75 pounds with the battery. We used a bathroom scale and I actually weighed it at about 78 pounds. And I took the batteries off, as you can see here, and it weighed in at about 64 pounds.
And then another commenter asked, will the rear battery of the XPremium fit behind the rear seat of the XP 2.0? Let's give it a shot. Here's a close-up look. Let's see if it'll slide in. And I know we have the rear luggage package on, but the width of the battery here just does not fit between these two bars. Try to come up from the underside, and it still doesn't fit in. So it may fit back there, but getting in and out is going to be a nightmare. Not to mention the closeness to the chain is going to be questionable, and your fenders. And if you're running a rear rack with any sort of basket, it's going to really limit your space. So we're going to say no, it doesn't fit.
Yeah, they really made the Lectric XPremium fit that second battery.
Correct.
And the geometry reflects that.
Yeah, you can see if you look closely on the XPremium, you can definitely see the extra room behind the seat tube on the bike.
With all those questions answered, let's get to some riding footage. JT and I will test out these bikes and try to give you our best perspective on which one can climb hills better.
Let's go.
Okay, here we go. We're going to start off with JT on the Lectric XP 2.0. I am on the Lectric XPremium, and a little bit of weight differences here, so we're just going to see what happens. And I'm going to start off in the first gear, which obviously is recommended. As we just discussed, riding a mid-drive electric bike, you want to ride it like you would a normal bike. Bottom of the hill, starting in first gear, and we'll do throttle only. Yeah. And we'll compare the hub drive versus mid-drive.
Yeah, throttle only on the XP 2.0 as well.
I'll line up the tires.
Oh, okay. We have to be precise lining up tires. It's okay, I overfilled my tires, so we're good. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's got me. Let's see if we can reel him in. He has to shift.
I'm just shifting up. Second gear.
Up, there we go. Reeling him in.
Third gear.
Reeling him in. Here we go. Woo! Here we go. Let's see if we can maintain our lead going up the hill.
And JT takes the lead.
All right, slowing down, about 15 now. Let's see, so 12. This is a pretty steep hill, if you can see from this 360 footage. It's probably gonna have the GoPro effect on it.
Are you still just throttle only?
Throttle only, I haven't pedaled once.
I'm in third gear, I'm passing you.
Oh, that gear ratio. 8, yep. What speed are you at, Ryan?
11 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'm at 7.
All right, I think that shows off the power of a mid-drive motor.
Yeah, I had to pedal. I was afraid I wasn't going to make it up. It got to about 4 miles an hour, and I was like, I got to give it some throttle. So
I think that really shows the highlight of the mid-drive motor once you really get up to the hill, because it was flat there for a second.
Correct, yep.
But I think for completing the video, we should still switch and see what happens.
I completely agree. Let's go back down and we'll send it up on the other side. I need a wind if I can have one.
All right, second test, we got JT on the Lectric XPremium. I'm on the XP 2.0, so we'll see what happens. Yep. I'm thinking with the gears, JT will still beat me up the hill.
I think you're going to get a little bit more of a run from the start, but I agree. I think once the hill starts, I think the premium's going to take you on this one.
All right, you call it down.
Yep, so we're going throttle only, and I'm starting in first gear again. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. No pedaling here. We're just giving throttle. Ryan, there he goes. Takes off a little bit.
Oh, yeah. And JT is way back there.
Still haven't pedaled at all. Let's see what the speed looks like. See if we can reel him in here.
We'll see if he can catch up. I'm going about 16 miles an hour according to the display.
Ryan's 140 pounds. I'm at about 215. So there's a sizable difference between the two of us. So weight plays a huge role in how these two bikes work. All right, so we're gonna give this one more go because that last hill test did not go in my favor. So we're gonna see if we can give the XP 2.0 the advantage. So I'm gonna be on the XP 2.0. We're not gonna go all the way up the hill. There's a little bit of an incline here, if you can see. So we're gonna see if Ryan can upshift a little bit faster and see if he can reel me in a little bit quicker before we get to the hill. Let's give her a go. Throttle only, both in 5. Ryan's gonna start in gear 1. Ready, set, go.
I already shifted up to second gear.
The XP 2.0 is doing about 10, 11, 12, 13 miles an hour here. We're gonna see if we can, so we're in our best case right now because we're drafting. Let's see, it's 14 miles an hour. And this, like I said, this is kind of flat, but here we go. We got a little bit more speed. Ryan might need to upshift.
Fourth gear.
Fourth gear, there's the upshift. The hill is really getting ready to start now. Let's see what we can do. We're at 18, 19, okay, now we're going back down. 17, 16, 15, and this is really where the hill starts. I think this is really where the weight is gonna matter, or my weight is gonna come into effect.
And again, Lectric doesn't recommend using the throttle only in above fourth gear. But here's where JT falters on the 2.0.
And there goes Ryan.
I'm still in fourth gear.
He's in fourth, he's at 12.9, and then this is the X, as we know from the first one, the XP 2.0 just continue to drop. So,
all right, I think we can make a conclusion.
Yeah. What we can definitely tell is the gear ratio plays a huge difference in that, and weight as well. We're not downplay that. So,
and especially on hills.
Yeah.
But again, just because this is called the Lectric XPremium, I don't want to dissuade people from the Lectric XP 2.0 because it is plenty capable. You can check out our full review of that bike. It just seems like if you're going to be doing a ton of hills, the mid-drive is going to be better. Of course, the motor is going to be a little happier being in a lower gear compared to the hub drive, which is just, struggling. Fixed gear.
Power.
Exactly. That sums up the video. Again, a link in the description to Lectric's website. It's a free and easy way to help support the channel. Yep. Thanks for your support. And if
you have any more questions, put them down in the comments. We'll see if maybe we do another one of these. And until then, we'll see you guys in the next one.
See ya.